Simple and easy to learn self-defense moves using your walking cane. A simple walking cane, any kind of walking cane, or you can use a self-defense style walking cane. This is the Cane Masters self-defense walking cane. I put a link in the description below if you want to go and see what these cost. This style is very inexpensive. They have more expensive, but you can use any walking cane. First thing I'm going to have you do is start with a simple warm-up where your palm is facing the sky and the long side's coming out of the thumb, and you're going to crank it forward. Now this warm-up you only are going to do while you are training. You don't do this when someone's about to hit you. I'm going to show you how to just pick it up and smash them with it to keep them out of your face for self-defense. But I'd like you to learn how to train so you can get stronger, faster, better. When you need to defend yourself or your family, you don't feel safe anymore, you don't feel like you are able to defend yourself as well as you used to, a walking cane for self-defense is very effective. Now this spinning is also going to put some callus on your hand. It's going to get your heart rate up. It's going to get you stronger, but it's also going to be used later as a strike coming through to smash somebody and get them out of your face for self-defense. So you're going to take this part seriously, take your time with it, just a simple spin. Once you've done this for about 30 seconds on one hand, then come over and back in a simple figure 8 motion. Just think about bringing your hand through like a slap across his face, backhand across the other side of the face, coming in and back. Your other hand is always going to be up. Your stomach's up and in, your abs are tight. Tuck your chin a little bit. Just bring it side to side. Do this for 30 seconds, put it into the other hand. Your palm facing the sky, the long side coming out of your thumb. These are simple and easy to learn self-defense using your walking cane. Starts with a nice spinning motion, spinning warm up. Just push and pull. Slow it first and speed it up when you're ready. Stomach up and in, abs tight, tuck the chin, breathing through the nose, out through the mouth, over, back. Always keep this hand up and out of the way. 2 reasons. One, you want to get into the habit. If he's coming in and your hand's here, you can stop him by putting your hand here. Maybe he's swinging, throwing a punch, swinging, trying to hit you, grab you, stab you, choke you. You can put this hand up, allowing you to get this other hand with the cane in it into a fighting position. But you're absorbing the attack here. So always train when you do these motions with your hand up, protected position. Also keeps it out of the way so it doesn't get hit. And if you do hit yourself, that's okay. You're going to learn faster that way. It's good feedback. Now, once you've done that, your heart rate should have come up just a little bit. You can do this standing or sitting. You might be confined to a wheelchair. You can even do this if you need a cane to lean on. You need a cane to walk with. You can learn, simple and easy to learn self-defense moves with a walking cane, with your walking cane, by leaning on one and then using another one to fight with. You can bring that in, you bring it down over the top of his head, you snatch it up, you can slide it into this position in your hand, you can thrust, you can turn it around, hitting with a crook, grab, rip. You can go down and smash his legs, pull the foot up from under his body, knock him on the ground for self-defense, stick the cane into his face for self-defense, all while you're leaning on your other cane. So if you need a cane to walk with, use it, and then use the other one for self-defense. All right, now you've done your spinning on both sides. I want to show you the first technique. Easy, simple, easy to learn. You're going to start with a cane with a crook facing back in the traditional way. This also works with a derby style cane if it doesn't have the rounded crook, but has that long derby style. From here in the back hand, other hand comes up, give him a command, get out of my face, you're too close. As he closes the distance, just bring it straight up. Think about smashing up between his legs or into his throat, or if he's reaching, he's trying to punch you, breaking that hand, smashing here, and then down on the top of his head. So you do that, lift it this way. There's a bend in your wrist, bend in your elbow, and at the shoulder. You're using all 3 points to bring that up. Then your palm faces the sky. You drop your hand, bring it up so that your hand is behind your head, palm facing him, and then down as hard and as fast as you can. Think about knocking him out, hitting him on the top of his head for self-defense. The question you ask yourself is, what can you remove or destroy? His ability to be awake, his ability to grab you, choke you, stab you, hit you with things. You knock out his brain. If you knock him out, turn off his operating system, he can't come after you. Or maybe it's his ability to see you. Maybe you're striking to the eyes. Maybe you're hitting him in the neck. There's a process of nerves there. When you strike it from here, coming down, you can also bring it across, hitting that neck. He'll fall to the ground if you hit it just correctly. That nerve sends a message to the brain. When you strike it, flushes the brain from blood, comes out of his body, falls to the ground. Maybe it's smashing into his hand as he's reaching, or he's out here, you break his ribs, making it hard for him to breathe temporarily. Maybe it comes up here, throwing it, smashing, thrusting through his throat, his ability to breathe permanently. Maybe here in the solar plexus, a little bit lower, down into the groin. Maybe that first motion, he's stepping in, you hit him down on top. But what you can remove or destroy is, principle of self-defense comes from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. I'm gonna put that link in the description so that you can go and read that book if you haven't already. That'll give you a lot of ideas of where you're gonna target acquisition, what do you hit with your easy, simple technique, easy to learn self-defense walking cane. So the first thing you're gonna practice is up and over the top. If there's a garage door open overhead, you're still gonna be able to hit them. You just go through it. 1, 2. I always want you to practice both sides evenly. One side is gonna feel very natural and strong, or more natural and strong than the other side. The other side, if you're not ambidextrous, it'll be a little awkward at first. And the more you practice it, the easier it's gonna get. You're gonna be able to fight with both hands evenly. And of course, as I said before, if you need a walking cane to walk with, so in other words, if your comment is, well, if you pick up your cane to hit him, you're gonna fall to the ground, lean on one, and then hit him with the other one. And just practice this again and again, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, every day for a few weeks. It'll become a very natural motion for you. And then if you do need it, you're gonna be able to do that very easily, very quickly. Now, from this same position, either in the back, it can be backhand or front hand, doesn't really matter, but with crook facing the back, your hands up, you give the verbal command, get out of my face, don't touch me, bring it up, bring it back, bring it over the top. 3-strike combination, other hands up, comes across, comes back, comes over the top. Think of it in terms of hit his temple, hit his neck, crack him on the top of his head. Or maybe he's reaching for you. Smash his hand out of the way, break his ribs, crack him on the top of his head for self-defense. So it's over, back, and down for self-defense. 1, 2, 3, switching again and again. Nice thing about switching is it's gonna help turn this into a workout while you're learning simple and easy to learn self-defense using your walking cane. You're also gonna get your heart rate up, and you're gonna get a little stronger, faster. Over time, you're gonna feel more confident. You're gonna be effectively able to defend yourself and your family from a violent attack. This is the perfect thug stopper self-defense tool. Think about groups of thugs randomly hurting innocent people, coming after you, coming after your grandkids, coming after your children, your spouse, and you're gonna defend yourself with your simple walking cane. Studer, thank you so much for that super chat, super sticker. Silent Walk says he walks with one and have it with him all the time. It's also great training, loves it. Let's Yoga just sub. Thank you, Yoga, for that. Good afternoon, good morning, Alita, nice to see you. And Old Two-Ply says, good morning from sunny Arizona. Thanks for being here, thanks for training with me. I want you to go now back into an exercise, because as you're learning simple and easy to learn self-defense with your walking cane, I want you to get stronger at the same time. I want you to get more mobile, healthier. The next thing I'm gonna have you do is an air squat. and you're gonna lean into your cane. So you just push your cane in front of you, comes out kind of as an angle, or at an angle, and push your hips back like you're sitting into a chair. Leaning into your cane is gonna take some of the weight off your legs, allowing you to get a better range of motion while still putting more power into your legs. All of your strikes, all of those things that you do for self-defense are gonna come through the legs, through the feet, from the floor up. That's true. Any kind of strike, a palm strike, an elbow strike, a punch, or striking with a self-defense tool like a walking cane. You need to have strong, solid foundation that comes from your legs. So you push your hips back, and don't worry about how many of these you do, but do them for 30 seconds. If you're confined to a wheelchair, then don't do them. But if you can do them, it's gonna add a lot more power in all of your strikes, while it also is going to improve your overall fitness. Now, the next thing I'm gonna have you do, still with the crook facing behind you, the traditional way, is bring your hand up as you bend the knees, sliding your hand down the front of the cane, so when you bring it up, you're in this position as if you're holding a sword. From here, practice with a thrust first. The thrust is done by turning your shoulders and your hips, extending your arm, and your target is what's most important here. What you can remove or destroy. His ability to see, breathe temporarily, his ability to breathe permanently, coming through his solar plexus, knock his wind out between the belly button and his privates, put him on the floor. So from here, bend, point the thumb at the threat, turn the hips and thrust. Switching your feet, hand up, slide the hand, get into a better position, thrust, and switch. 1, 2, thrust, hand up, bend, point, thrust. I want you to do that for like 30 seconds, just side to side. Hello, Doug. Silent Walk says, use the heavy bag for his cane training. That's awesome. Heavy bags are great. Studer asks fingers up or down. From here, my fingers are in this position, the front hand, the back hand, the fingers are facing behind me. When I come up, I'm holding in this position. When I say point the thumb, I mean where your thumb would be, you point that toward him. So from this position, Studer, I think that's what you're asking. If not, just give me a little bit more information. I'll answer your question. But I want you to get the habit of immediately, you see the threat, bend the knees, making yourself a smaller target. You're also weighting up, putting the weight on the legs, like loading the spring, so that when you strike, you can unload and use the power of your legs to increase the force and the speed of your strike. From here, once you've done your thrust, pull it into your shoulder and then come through with an angular strike. This first hard, fast, and notice that it's coming from your shoulder forward. You're not bringing it out here and bringing it through. You're here in the shoulder and you're coming through so that he closes the distance. He's gonna run into your cane, or your cane's gonna run into him. If your hand is out here, as he closes that distance, your arm is gonna wrap around him, almost like you're giving him a hug. It's not gonna do anything. You wanna break the teeth down his face, down his throat for self-defense. Garen's here. Garen says, sorry for being late. Hey, as long as you're here, Garen, I appreciate it. Studer says, got it, thanks. Thank you, Studer. 1, thrust, strike, from the other shoulder, strike. So now you have a 3-strike combination. Bend the knees, point the thumb, thrust, 1, 2, turn your palm up and bring it up. Think about from his ribs out the other side of his body, or maybe he's reaching with a punch, or maybe he's got a blade. The great thing about the cane with the blade is you have reach advantage. He's got a blade, even if he has a long blade. It was a hammer attack yesterday. I forget which city. One of the big cities here in the States. I think it was a security guard caught off guard. Guy comes up, just starts beating. Oh no, I know what it was. It was on the train in Chicago. Man was looking at his phone. Guy came up, take it from him. He tries to take it back. Guy whips out a hammer and starts to beat him into the head. Now, don't look at your phone while you're on the train. That's my first, situational awareness is important. If you have to, put your back against the wall, look at it this way. Maintain your situational awareness. This way you can see your periphery. If you're like this, you don't know that guy's on top of you until you are. He pulls it out, your reaction is to take it back. He's got a hammer in the other hand. You didn't even see it. Yeah, Lita says horrible. Lita, these things are happening constantly. It's crazy what's happening. If you happen to have your walking cane with you while you're on the train, he's got a hammer in his hand. You can put the cane between you and him, and as he comes to strike at you, stick that straight through his face, right? Or as he's swinging it, bring your cane through, smashing his hammer out of his hand, or better yet, smash him in his face and try to knock him out for something. He's got a hammer trying to hit you. That's a murderous intent. His intent is to kill you for a little, $1,000, $800, $500, whatever your phone costs, for a little piece of material. He's willing to take your life. You have to be willing to defend yourself, your family, your wife, your children, your grandchildren, in your home, or whether you're out in public. And if you have a simple walking cane, you have reach advantage over that crazy man with the hammer, that violent criminal who's trying to take from you something that doesn't belong to him. Now, I'm not saying don't fight somebody over a phone. If he pulls out a weapon, give him your phone. But if you happen to have your cane with you and he pulls out a hammer, you can say, hey man, you're too, get away from me. Stick your phone in your back pocket so you have your other hand open. So when he does swing, you can maybe step into it and absorb that strike and then smash him through the face, box his ears, clank him down on the top of his head, and then stick that through his eyes and his nose and move him off of you, knock him to the other side of the train. Hopefully he's unconscious or he'll stay down because you're standing there telling him, don't get up, I'll defend myself. And then let the cops eventually come and then sweep him up and take him where he belongs. Hopefully he'll be charged. Hopefully they won't give him no cash bail, which the whole state of Indiana or Illinois has now. Hopefully he'll be kept out and he won't be back on the street. But you won't be a victim. You won't have a fractured skull in surgery for your brain swelling, your skin getting sewed back together, maybe your eyeball can't see anymore, or permanent brain damage, all because he's out there. This guy, the story will come up, we haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be one of the typical stories we're hearing these days where this guy has already assaulted multiple people in a short period of time. And if he is charged, the charges are dropped by the prosecutor. He goes in front of a liberal judge. Not liberal is the wrong word, a leftist judge who's working for the Soros family or whatever. And then that guy just throws him back onto the train where he can pick up another hammer and hit another person. But my point is, I want you to train with your easy to learn self-defense techniques, easy to follow, easy to understand, simple walking cane self-defense techniques, and defend yourself. Yeah, Kifok, King of Hockey Now says, also situational awareness. Sometimes a bad guy walks past you and then makes a U-turn, attacks from behind. Absolutely, a lot of them are cowards, thugs, punks. They don't want to see you face to face and they will ambush you from behind. So if you do have that situational awareness, you have your back against the wall, you're standing with your cane here and you see him walking by, you can just pick up your cane like this. You can hold your cane like this. You can hold it however you want. And you see him walking by, turn and look at him, right? He's not with a group. If there's a group of them, keep your eyes on all of them. If it's one homeless, crazy, and they don't always look homeless. Sometimes they're addicts, sometimes they're just mentally ill, and they're empowered by a system that allows them to get away with it. And watch him until he leaves the train or wherever you're standing. Maybe you're walking in the park. I have, with my kids, come to a complete stop. I'll put them behind me. I'll watch somebody making eye contact with them. Hello, how you doing? Let them walk down the street. I'll turn and I'll watch them. And my kids are like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just, paying attention. I need you to pay attention too. And then, because what's more important than your safety and the safety of your family, your children, your grandchildren? You have to do these things. Doug, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate that. But put your back against the wall, pay attention, get your phone put away. There's nothing that you need to look at. If you do need to look at it, like you're using the map function or you're waiting for an important communication from somebody, hold it up like this so you don't lose your peripheral vision and maintain eye contact. Simply pay attention. So situational awareness is always going to be the first tip. Second tip is get in a better position. Put the cane between you and the threat. Thrust, strike 1, strike 2, turn your palm up, 3, palm up, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you might not use all 7 on the guy who's coming at you with the hammer. Might just take 1, might take 1 and 2. But if you practice them over and over again, then again, it's going to be part of your daily routine. When you need it, it's going to flow from you very easily. So bend the knees, the hand comes up. That's always the first thing. I want you to, number 1, pay attention, situational awareness. Number 2, better position. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, front hand up, back hand with cane between you and the threat. Then if you need to, thrust, aiming for eyes, nose, throat, teeth, solar plexus, groin, whatever you can remove or destroy. Thrust, striking down, angle 1, angle 2, palm up, 3, 4, palm up, 5, palm down, 6, 7, straight down on top, and then switch your feet. You're gonna practice this for a good minute to 2 minutes, switching sides. If you need to, come back, get a piece of paper, take some notes. It starts with better position, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, front hand up and open. Cane between you and the threat. First strike is a thrust. Angle down from the same shoulder, angle from the opposite shoulder, same hip, palm come up, angle up, opposite hip, angle up, horizontal strike. And this can be to the head, to the ribs, to the waist, taking out his knees. It can be any level, but coming across, coming back, striking down on top, switch. Bend the knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switching, hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 simple strikes done in combination give you all the tools you need to stop most threats. You started with snatch it up, crank it on his head. Then we went to across, back, and down. Now you've got, with the cane facing back, thrust, angle, 2, angle up, 4, horizontal, back, vertical, switch. Do that again and again and again. Make it part of your muscle memory, whatever that is, so that you can do it. Yeah, and Doug says those strikes have to be full power. Great point, Doug, thank you so much. What I want you to do is adopt the mantra, tell yourself over and over, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So start slow, make sure you're nice and tight. All your strikes should come in the center of your body, in the frame of your body. Nothing should come wide. So if you have these big wide strikes, you're either gonna miss them or they're gonna be so slow that by the time he closes the gap to stab you 30 times or crack you open with a hammer, your arm's just gonna wrap around his body. But if you get him nice and tight, no matter where he is, you're gonna run into it. He closes that distance, now he's right here. Get your other hand on the cane, smash it through his teeth about 6 times, smash it down on the top of his head, stick it up through his throat, through his face, get him out of your face. But practice nice and tight. As you get better at it, start to speed it up. As Doug said, full speed, full power, full commitment, but work yourself up to that and within the 2 minutes. And then every time you do it, week after week, your speed will be faster, your strength will be hard, your hand grip strength is going to be better. You're less likely to lose your walking cane when you use it in self-defense. Now, let's say you did this and he grabs the end of it. I want you to immediately lock your hand to your hip. If your hand is like this, away from your body, and he grabs that other end of your cane and starts pulling on it, you're gonna be in a tug of war. If he's stronger, he might have crazy strength, right? Crazy person strength. All of a sudden it's gonna come flying out of your hand and he's gonna beat you with it. So So as soon as you see him going for that, lock it to your hip. Now he's gonna be pulling against your body weight. And I weigh a lot. So it's gonna be harder for him to rip it out of my hands. Get your other hand on it. Practice making small circles. As he's holding on to it, that small circle is gonna twist his wrists together because his energy is coming this way. His force is coming this way. He's pulling toward him. You're circling and he's not trying to stop that. It'd be hard for him to anyway, because that involves his shoulders against your entire body. Your hips, your shoulders, your back and your legs, your chest, your core muscles. So you're turning with that. Once you turn it a little bit, push it straight down forcefully. And all of a sudden his hands are gonna twist and then it's gonna be here. Once it's here, he's compromised. You've locked him in this position. You're then going to step and thrust it into his face, pushing him back. His hands are not gonna be strong enough to stop it coming through his face. I always feel like I'm fighting a ghost when I do all those motions because I don't have a partner to show you. But I have put some videos on this channel where I do that with a partner. More importantly, I'm the big guy. I know what I'm doing. I give it to the guy who's not as big, who's more of a beginner, and I show him how to do it. And then he's able to do it effectively against somebody who's bigger, stronger, knows what he's doing. And it still works. It's an ancient principle of fighting with sticks. Lock it to your body, twist, push, step, and thrust. And if you need to, bring your back hand forward. From here, punching right to the face. From here, this becomes your pivot point. Bam! Now that hard piece comes right into his face. He's holding here. You have so much more leverage, so much more strength when you, from this position, you twist it, you push it down. Now, instead of pushing it this way, punch with that back hand, bringing that across his jaw, break his jaw for self-defense, knock him on the ground. Yeah, Silent Walk says practice makes perfect. And yeah, Garen says you can use it like a pull cue too, from here, like that. Front hand controls where it goes. Aim, back hand is your engine. And then bam, pop them in the face. Create some more distance that way. Lots of way to use it. Imagination. Yeah, Roland said the guy who takes your cane and beats the crap out of you. Roland, we just answered that one. Hopefully you can practice. Here we go. A lot of people who should be at the convention in the text today. I'm surprised you guys are here. You'd either be outside making the protest signs or whatever, or inside clapping and cheering, but they're here in the comment section instead. All right, anyway, we got rid of those guys. Now, I want you to go back to an exercise. This time, I'm gonna have you step into a lunge. So we're continuing to build strength in the legs. And in this case, I'm activating all the quadriceps, all of the muscles in the front of the leg, and some of the glutes. And you're gonna do that, other hand up, for about 30 seconds. And it's the opposite of the hand that you're holding. Then you put it on the other side and step and bend the knee. Just bending that front knee, good 30 seconds. Then go back to the first side and do a step of lunging to the back. Same thing, you're hitting the front of the legs and you're hitting the glutes, but you're getting them in a different way. You're building knockout power in all your strikes, getting younger, more agile, more fit, more flexible. And you're using your cane to take some of the weight off of the legs so that you can do more than you could without it. Then you'd be shocked just a little bit. It's gonna go a long way. You're gonna get really, really strength. Yeah, Garen says leg strength is essential. Doug says, Doug learned how important it is putting your body weight into thrust. Absolutely. If you think about a good boxer's punch, there are videos all over the place now because cameras are everywhere, security cameras everywhere. Older men, especially, who know how to fight, who fought when they were maybe younger. Boxers especially, sometimes martial artists, but they know how to throw a punch. They know the secret three things that you need to knock somebody out. You need extension, you need rotation through the shoulders and hips, you need to accelerate and put the weight into the punch by moving the foot forward or just leaning into it. The foot forward is going to be a little bit better because you're going to get more of the body into it. So a boxer's jab, when he boxes correctly, he's going to throw the front foot into the jab. He's going to turn the pinky side up so he gets full rotation and full extension of his arm. And he's going to turn his shoulders and hips to increase the distance and the speed. So we get those three things: rotation, or extension of the arm, rotation of the shoulders and hips, and then the step on that punch. And the back foot on the punch, it just comes forward a little bit. And when you do that, you can knock most people out because you're no longer hitting them with your arm and how strong your arm is. Now you're hitting them with however much your body weighs multiplied by the move itself, right? By the rotation and that step and how quickly you can do that. And you can multiply it 3 times, 10 times. So I weigh 250 some pounds. Now, instead of just hitting you with my arm, I'm hitting you with 250 pounds times 3, 5, 10. I'm gonna knock you out if I connect. And you're gonna knock me out when you connect, even if you're half my size. So the same thing like Doug said, putting your weight through those strikes. And anybody who knows how to fight with one of these knows this is basically, it's the same thing. You can lightly slice or you can end somebody quickly for self-defense using one of these because you're going through so much more when you put your entire body behind it. All right, Garen's talking about increasing power. We're gonna talk about increasing power with your strikes. Isometric exercise, just put a rope there and then hold it. It's a great way to engage the plasma in the muscles, which build more muscle. I want you to do another set of strikes. We're gonna turn the crook out. And by the way, if the crook is facing out, you can do all of the first techniques that we did with the crook facing out or the crook facing back. In this case, and I'm gonna have you put one foot forward and I'm gonna have you snatch it up so that it's in this protected position. Now these are simple and easy to learn self-defense with your walking cane. And the idea is just get the cane between you and him. Get your other hand up, give him a command, get out of my face, you're too close, don't touch my wife, don't touch my child, get away from my grandson. And then smashing, turning, extending that arm right into his nose, bring the backside up like you're answering your phone. Now the long side of this cane is gonna come up and crack him under the chin, or maybe, again, he's reaching or grabbing, you're trying to stab or slash, you're smashing, he's trying to hit you with a hammer, hitting that hand. Once you have it up, take it in your other hand and then thrust, coming through here with 2 hands, like a bayonet strike, and then bringing this hand back. You're gonna push the backhand forward. Think about chopping down a door, like a fireman. Family's back there, smoke's coming out. He's gotta get in to save them. The door's locked. He's gonna chop through it if he can't get it open. You're gonna chop through his face, the bad guy, for self-defense. So from this position, better position, cane between you and him, verbal command if you can, take a deep breath, what can you remove or destroy? He's coming in, you're going to smash him first in his nose, his teeth, maybe take away his ability to breathe temporarily. Once you bring your hand in, crack it up this way, smashing through, chop, and then I want you to push with this. Turn it and then push with this hard part. Think about through his teeth, through his nose, through his chest, or his throat, and then move him back. Same thing with the other one. Other side, your hands up and open, verbal command, get back, you're too close, pop it up, smash, lift, bayonet, axe, rifle butt strike. 2 hands, turn, smashing through his teeth using this hard bar of wood. Now this is the Cane Master's cane. You can see what these cost in the link below or use your own cane, it doesn't really matter. Now I did want to go back to Garen's comment about improving your power and your speed. Yeah, Doug says the speed of the snap and the retract is important. It's the same thing that when Doug was a law enforcement cop, a police officer, when you did the riot control line, you gotta be fast and get it back. Hit him and then pull it back. Don't hit him and leave it there so he can take it out of your hand and hit you with it. Or follow through with all your strikes and then get your hand back up. Always get your hand back up in the guard. Now these are 2 different widths of band. This one is light, it's perfect for shoulders. This one, much heavier. This will give you a lot more power in your strikes. You can use either one, start with whatever you want. I put a link, these are called resistance bands. You get 1 or 2 resistance bands, and I would go with the smallest one and then the next size up, which is this one. It's my recommendation for you if you're a beginner. You put it on your cane, or you put it on a walking stick, and then you bring the loop behind your back. See how I just turn that around so it flows in my other hand? Not as flexible as I was. And it's not because I'm old, it's because I haven't stretched. It's my own fault. Now, you just have the bands there. And this band, I thought this was the 146 pound band. This is the 196 pound band. This comes from, again, it's in the links below if you want to get a pair. They don't cost very much. And then you can just do standing push-ups. If you've been here in the last few weeks, you know that I don't have a gym membership right now. I get my entire workout here in the garage, at the park. And at the park, there are park benches. I can do everything that I can in the gym with a band, and I don't have to wait. I don't have to pay the money. I don't have to wait for the young people or the old people sitting there selfieing, scrolling, just sitting and I don't know why people sit on machines. Get off the machine when you're done. Get off the machine between sets. Get up and move your body around. But don't just sit there in the leg extension machine between sets. Get your bum up, walk around. That's the way you're supposed to work out. You're not supposed to sit there and contemplate your life. I don't know what they're contemplating. Anyway, you can instead get off that rant, get your exercise with these bands. First thing I'll have you do is just a standing push-up. The great thing about bands is it's increasing resistance. The farther away from your chest, the more resistance you encounter, which is good because when you hit somebody, you want to increase your power through your strike. Like Doug said, follow through. After you do this for 30 seconds, leave it there. Don't sit down. Quit sitting down. People sit down all the time. Get up and move. I think one of the keys to living longer, living better, is refusing to sit if you don't need to. Sitting is so easy. But when you sit, your body literally will turn off all of the hormones, the precursor hormones that you need to stay lean and vital and healthy as you get older. And I was watching that Dr. Peter Attia. I don't know if you guys have seen that guy. Talks a lot about nutrition. He was talking about how testosterone in men worldwide, but especially in the West, especially in the United States, Great Britain, and China. Most people, if you've never been to China, you don't realize how much China is like here. You got Walmart everywhere, you've got McDonald's on every corner, KFC, IKEA, and they're as obese or more obese than the 73% of American adults who are obese, which is a shocking number. But what this guy was saying is that like adult men in their 30s who live in one of these Western countries, Great Britain, Canada, United States, Australia, New Zealand, their testosterone level is the same as 50-some-year-old men 20 years ago. And some even lower than that. So they have very little testosterone. When you have less testosterone, you're tired all the time, you get really fat, everything gets unhealthy in your body. But the biggest cause, they think, is they don't know everything. But one of the leading contributors to low testosterone is body fat, having a lot of body fat. One of the best ways to get fat is to sit on your fat butt all day long. So if you don't want to be fat, and you complain about it, you whine about it, get up and move. Even if it's just walking in place. And be uncomfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable in life sometimes. I think it's so, yeah. John Smith, excellent point. John says, to be fair, now the next set I'm gonna have you push down because I want you to hit the bottom part of your chest. John says women have all the testosterone. And it's true, society, especially in the West, has beaten, starting with boys in school. They've been doing it for years, 20, 30 years. They beat boys into submission. They want little boys to act like little girls. Little girls love to people please and make the teacher happy in school. This is my experience because I've worked in schools for 30 years. Boys like to make each other laugh. So boys are always getting in trouble, but schools are set up so the boys shut up and do what you're told, and they take away all their recess. Recesses are cut 15 minutes, 20 minutes. They're sitting in school for 7 hours a day, one PE class a week, if they're lucky. Better schools, the best schools have 5 or 6, because the best schools, boarding schools, where parents are paying more than college, like on the East Coast here in the United States, or in Great Britain, in London or whatever, or outside of the city. The best boarding schools, kids go to school, they live there 6 days a week. They have physical activity requirement. They either have to be on a sports team or they have to be doing something physical. The rest of the poor fat kids get one PE class a week. It really pisses me off, really makes me mad. They're sitting for 7 hours a day. They get very little recess. Then they feed them garbage for a snack and garbage at lunch. So they get fatter and fatter and fatter. So they go into the fat adults that we all are. And boys, they want to act like girls. They want them to be quiet. They label them with ADD, ADHD. Now everybody's on the autism spectrum. They got rid of Asperger's. Now they're just lumping everybody somewhere on that spectrum. Let's give them some drugs to comply. And boys and girls are more depressed than they've ever been in society, as long as we've measured. No one's doing anything about it. Anyway, you can, if you're a grandparent or a parent, get your kids up, lead by example, get yourself up, move your body, become physically active, become physically a model that they would follow. If you're a grandparent and your kids won't do it for their children, your grandchildren, you come go over to the house, right? It's sad, but we have to do that. Pick up the kids, take them to the park, go for a walk, sign them up for little league sports, get them to move their body, because they're not getting it every day. They're doing this longer and longer and longer. They're on tablets, they're on Xboxes, they're on iPads, they're on mommy's phone or daddy's phone, and they're doing this all day, every day. And it's warping their brains, it's making their bodies extremely unhealthy, and all of society will collapse, is collapsing, or it will collapse. And it's all these factors, but that's a major factor. People aren't physically fit, they're not taking any responsibility. They think, we tricked ourselves. Third set, going up and away. This will hit the top part of your chest and more of your triceps. And we think everything's supposed to be easy. There's supposed to be an app for that. I push a button, it's easy. Give me the Noom app and then I can lose weight. Give me Ozempic or Mounjaro or Jaro or however the hell they say it. All these peptides and these GLP-1 inhibitor, whatever they're called. Those things are gonna kill an entire generation, and it turns your stomach off. And then it's easy. So we do it. Stop. Take some responsibility. If you need some medical help, get medical help. If you need some psychological help, get psychological help. But if anybody tells you, oh, it's not supposed to be so hard, spit in their face, punch them in the throat, or not, but tell them, get out of my face. You let your kids grow up that way. I'm not gonna let my kids grow up that way. That way is pure hell. That's living hell on earth when they grow up thinking that everything's supposed to be given to them and that everything's supposed to be easy and they're never supposed to struggle. And guess what? The rest of the world, like here where most of us live, it's easy now. But there are like 6-7 billion people in the world. There are 1 billion people who are at starvation level. I think I said 1 trillion recently to somebody, but there are not that many people in the world. 1 billion, a full billion. It was like 900 and some million at the beginning of the year. Now it's up to 1 billion. Who, if they miss too much, if they don't get fed this week, will die, or some of them will die. And we don't see it. We're not paying attention to it because it doesn't affect us. There are country after country after country that's falling. People can't feed their kids. People are going without, and they're getting angry. And they're going to look at all these, and they're already here, and they're already looking around. And that's why we see this increase in violence. That's why I'm teaching you all this self-defense, so that you don't become a victim, so that you can protect your family from people who are coming to take it, because they're bringing them over and they're just telling them, do whatever you want. You won't go to jail. These people over here will. We'll put them in jail if they say the wrong thing. But you guys go do what you want. And look how they're living. That's what the communists have always done. They've always done that to disrupt and destroy society and impose their will and redistribute everything. And when they redistribute it, they're taking it from you and they're putting it right there. Very small, thin group at the top. Anyway, that's it for my soapbox. I don't want to get too political, even though that's pretty political. I just want you to take care of yourself and your family. I want you to keep healthy. I want you to learn how to move. And I want you to develop an armor so that when someone says to you, oh man, you don't want to do that, that's hard, that's too, take it easy, do this, do that, you need to rest more, you need this, more of this. Well, we've been doing that for so long that it got us to here. So how about let's stop resting? How about let's stop taking it easy and get a little out of our comfort zone and stop shoving shit down our throats that's bad for us, that we know we're not supposed to eat, and start saying no. We need to tell ourselves no, because we're gonna get the global smackdown or the cosmic smackdown that's already here and it's coming because we've earned it. We're not living our lives in a way that we're supposed to. And part of that is personal fitness, personal self-defense. These are all things given to us by God. They're God-given freedoms, God-given rights, God-given gifts that we're just squandering, or we're hoping that somebody else will come and take care of for us. We want somebody else to come and keep us safe. Well, the people who we hire to keep us safe and we train, people have been spitting in their faces for so long, no one else is really standing up against them. And there's not enough of them anymore because they're leaving the profession in droves. Then who's left? You got to be your own first responder. You need to learn how to defend yourself. You need to learn how to stop the bleed. You need to take a CPR class. You need to learn how to keep yourself in good physical condition for what's here and what's coming. By the way, I put a link in the description if you're interested in taking any more aggressive self-defense courses for yourself and your family, how to protect your home, how to stop from a home invasion. I put a link. It's Tim Miller at Lionheart. A lot of you guys know Tim Miller. Tim Miller's former Secret Service, retired Marine Colonel, retired police officer, Homeland Security, and he is the expert in corporate, church, and home security around the world. People refer to this guy, hire this guy, he flies all over the place. But he has courses coming up down here in Florida that I'm going to be part of. I'm going to teach some of the hand-to-hand combat there and weapon retention, stuff like that. And that's in the link below. But they fill up really fast. So if you're interested at all in coming to an amazing shooting course, it's pistol, long gun, and shotgun, and different versions of like how you would use them and what they're for. You're going to learn a whole bunch. They're taught by tier 1 operators, the top guys that teach at FLETC, which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. And these guys are the ones who teach, they're master teachers. So they're great shots. They've been there, done that. They've been in combat. Most of them have been in the field for so long. They've been in all the situations where they need to defend themselves and others, but they're also amazing instructors to get anybody up to speed. So check that out. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. Thank you, Michael Sanchez is here. John said that he had me until I revealed myself to be right wing. Nut, thank you for that. I don't believe that, I believe you're repeating something. I could watch all kinds of stuff and repeat nasty things about the liberals, the left wing, all that kind of stuff. But as far as that goes, man, that's your opinion and you're certainly entitled to it. We still have freedom of speech for right now. And that's what I swore, held my hand up to fight for your right to say those things. And so I appreciate your opinion and I wish you luck. A lot of people like you are starting to see the light and starting to understand that it's not right or left, because I don't really follow right-wing politicians either. I don't think there's a good politician. There might be a couple. There's that great guy who, he built his own house or whatever. I can't think of his name. There are a few that I think are good people, both on the right and left. But I think most of them are not. I heard Billy Graham explain it one time. He said in the Bible, Billy Graham talks about how in the Bible, God tells Moses and Job and Abraham, all these great men of the Bible and women of the Bible, that they need to do something for him, for his people. And they all tell God, I'm not worthy. Please don't ask me. I can't do it. And he tells them again and again. Then he starts to force them into it until they finally do it. And they submit and they say yes, and they go do it. And he said, you contrast that with most politicians in the West especially, where they're jumping around saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. And they're the least qualified morally spiritually, ethically least qualified to be leading the rest of us, but they're the ones that want to do the job. The good men are in the field, tending the field. The good men are at the fire station. The good men are building businesses. The good men are teaching at the schools. Good men and women. The good men and women are the nurses and the doctors. They're busy doing the work that we're supposed to do to help and heal other people. The politicians are the ones who, just bouncing up and down, and then they're hiding behind this facade of whatever you want to hear. So I'm not a fan of the right or the left. I'm an American, I'm a Christian first, and an American second, and I say there's a right and a wrong, and we need to work on what's right and stay away from what's wrong, and then try to help as many people as we can. And if that makes me, in your eyes, a right-wing nut, then again, you're entitled to your opinion or whatever. But that's who we all, none of us are perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. Anyway, Navarro seems to be of the same opinion, but good. Have your opinion, stick to it. I hope you find what's right for you and your family, and pray for all of us, because we're all God's children. And if that also upsets you, so be it. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for all of these super chats and super stickers. Brian, I really appreciate that. We're gonna do another one of these in a little bit, maybe later tonight or sometime tomorrow. I'm gonna go meet up with Tim Miller. Tim Miller recently, if you haven't seen his channel, it's at Lionheart Skills. Tim Miller, you just put Tim Miller Lionheart, it'll pull it up. And he just did a breakdown of a home invasion, what you could do. And we're going to together show you how at our homes, we reinforce the door frames, the door locks, and make the doors harder to kick in. And then I'm gonna show you some tools that I use in my house, some bars that we put, to make it hard for people, whether you've got a sliding glass door, those are easy to defeat. Most people don't realize that. Or a front door in your apartment, in your home, that can be easily kicked in or knocked in. And we'll show you how to keep people out. And so that'll probably be the next one here in the next couple days. But you guys have been awesome, and I appreciate you so much. I'll see you later. Thank you. Yeah, Garen, I like your comment. I won't read it.